Hello and welcome back. Today we mark 62 years since we gained our independence as a country and 61 years since we became a sovereign nation. Back then, our ancestors were filled with hopes and aspirations as they imagined the future that awaited them. The introduction to modernity had given them a taste of the benefits of a modern organized state. And now they believed, and rightly so, that with the removal of colonial exploitation and a government led by their own chosen representatives, there would be material benefits for them and their descendants. 6 decades later, we the descendants now know that these aspirations were misplaced. The scourge of exploitation is still alive and kicking, and Africans in this country still occupy the bottom of the social hierarchy. The men and women who replaced the colonial administration continued to run this country similar to their predecessors. But unlike their predecessors, these people had little interest in modeling a society that was able to accommodate the people they represented. These people also raided our public coffers and decided to use money meant for collective benefit to buy their way into the exploiter class. But what was the social contract at independence? At midnight, on that fateful day, as the Union Jack came down and the red, green, white and black took to the air for the first time, the commitments were direct. The inheritors of our state's vote to end illiteracy, to end diseases, and to end African poverty. There was also a commitment to forge a united nation. But for some reason, these are still the challenges that our current political elite keep promising to end. One has to wonder, how is it that for over 6 decades, we have not been able to solve even a single one of these challenges? The reality is that successive regimes that have governed this country have chosen to view the improvement of the plight of Africans as optional, as something that is more of an afterthought. The advancement of the interest of a select few has always been the primary goal of this country. It is for this reason that no one has seen it important to build an infrastructure that would be able to educate the masses, a health infrastructure that is capable of catering to the health needs of all Kenyans, and a program aimed at alleviating the poverty levels that still exists amongst our people. This was the case as our ancestors celebrated the first Jamuhuri Day, and it is still the case today. Now, while the contents of this voice note are applicable to all Kenyans, my target is the young Kenyan, those of us 40 years and below. Today, we are the group that has the greatest stake in this country, as we will live the longest amongst our population. We also find ourselves as citizens of a country that is governed by the most incompetent of people. Men and women who continue to show that they are not interested in modeling a society that is able to cater to our needs or advance our interests. These individuals have also worked very hard to create the perception that public service is a career that is preserved for a select few. And coincidentally, these few are usually corrupt individuals, failed retiring civil servants, or people with questionable characters. Furthermore, these people have also perfected the art of faking disagreements between themselves and passing those disagreements as disagreements on how to advance the interests of Kenyans. All in all, we as a country have fallen for these gimmicks too many times. But I want us to challenge ourselves and ask, why is it that this is the only option that is available to us? It is important that we look at society as a members club where all of us represent a single unit of men. All of us within this group are equal, and the people we elect are supposed to represent our collective aspirations. The actions of the men and women we send to represent us have a direct impact on our lives. And it is this particular bit that makes representative elections a very vital part of our lives. The people we elect only have the authority to advance that which is of our collective benefit. This is my roundabout way of saying that whenever we think about politics and governance, it is important to understand that it is our lives and futures that are at stake. And given that it is literally our individual existence that is under threat, it is very important that we as a group take keen interest in ensuring that the governance challenges that continue to face our nations are dealt with once and for all. One of the questions that keeps emerging is, what options do we have as a group to help us navigate ourselves from this problem? We have only but one option, and that is to ensure that we have a country that works for all of us. We do not have the leeway to give up. We cannot surrender. We cannot opt out. It is our present and futures that are at stake, and hence our only way is to create a society that works for us. We are the majority in this country, and whatever we want needs to be law in this country. We do not have the option of letting our country continue going down the drain. We cannot continue to watch as men and women who do not represent our interest continue to have a say on how our resources are distributed or how they are used. When we let this incompetence go on, it is our lives, it is our dreams, it is our energies, and it is our aspirations that are going down the drain. We have to fight to make this country work. This is our only way out. And this brings us to our next challenge. How exactly do we achieve that? It is my belief that a new Jamuhuri is possible. And here I'm looking at Jamuhuri as a day where we write ourselves a contract that guarantees us certain things. So yes, I believe a new Jamuhuri is possible. One that brings with it the promises that have eluded our forefathers for a long time. We owe ourselves a Freedom Day where we get to lay down the foundation for a country that works for us. A country that is free of ignorance. A country that is free of diseases. A country that is free of poverty. A country that is free of tribal divisions. And a society that is free of the cancer of greed and the plunder of our public resources. This is the society that we all agree we should have. And this is the country that we must fight tooth and nail to ensure we get. Our current governance model prioritizes the interests of a few to our collective detriment. And we as a group must avail ourselves a governance option that centers our interest and ensures that our public resources are directed towards ensuring our collective benefits. The governance model we come up with must be sourced from amongst ourselves, and we must all commit toward ensuring that this model triumphs. We must, as a matter of urgency, begin laying the blueprint for the country we want. We are the builders of the future we want, and we must begin putting that to book. On my part, I am going to use this platform to imagine a country for us. I will use my time to draw the picture of what is possible for us. I want to present to you a model of a country that is within our grasp, and sketch a way on how we can make this vision a reality. As a group, we must have initiatives from amongst us, people who can provide actual alternatives for all the elective positions in this country. The way we take control of our future is by occupying the positions that allow us to have absolute control over how our resources are used. This is a role that we can no longer cede to others, and most definitely one that we can no longer cede to our current political class. It must be us, because it's our lives that are at stake. "62 years ago, our ancestors agreed to chart a path that was meant to deliver us from the tragedies of our reality. But this dream has been stolen, and the authority that is conferred by that dream has been misused to worsen our prospects. We are the people who will continue to pay for this incompetence with our lives and energies. And it is for that reason that we can no longer allow this to continue happening. We all know it is happening. We are the victims. But we also have within ourselves the means to not only stop it, but the motivation needed to do something about it. We have no other choice but to go ahead and do something about it. Happy Jamuhuri Day to you all. And remember, this does not have to be it. We can give ourselves a new Jamuhuri. We just have to want it enough to do something about it. I have been your host Wanga, and I hope to see you next time.